Alright, we're here, everybody. It's STG Weekly, episode 204 on BlaZeon. I pronounce it like that because the Z is capitalized in the logo. In fact, it's very prominent. Take possession of your enemy's body is the tagline for the game, and this is arcade shmup by A.I Co or Corp or whatever, published by Atlus, and kind of an unknown horizontal shooter here that we're gonna start talking about shortly. Well, in depth, watching Emuser's no miss, one credit clear run with scoring, which just revolves around killing every enemy. We'll get more into that. And but yeah, like I say, I'm being co-hosted by, I'm being guested by Emuser here. He's here. What's up, Emuser?
Hey everyone.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah, hell yeah, you're back. And then being co-hosted as well by Maximo. So yeah.
What's up, Paul?
Yeah, so good stuff. We were talking a bit about right before we went live about this hardware and stuff. Would you guys want to give a little history about this company or what the deal is with this game and like maybe the SNES port and maybe some other factoids?
Sure. You want to go?
You seem to know more about the hardware stuff up front, so you
Yeah.
should probably start.
Okay, so for BlaZeon, or as you call it, so this game originally was released in arcades in April 1992, based on Wikipedia resources from Atlus and the amusement news agency published back in the 2000s. This arcade version, I guess the most notable thing about it is it does run on typical hardware of the day. One of the things I was talking to these guys before I started the episode here was that one of the composers of this game is a Tsukasa Masuko. And one of the reasons I kind of picked up on this was a friend of mine back in the day was streaming Megami Tensei 2, who was also composed by the same composer. And I was like, these riff lines are way too similar to be a coincidence between the two. And lo and behold, yeah, I guess he scored this game, and it's running on a Yamaha 2151 FM sound chip and an Oki 6295 for sampling. But it's interesting because it's like when you hear about this game, people just really refer to the Super Nintendo port, which was published, I guess, a couple months after this game got released back in like July 1992. But biggest issue with like the Super Nintendo port, why I kind of prefer the arcade port personally, is there's a lot of cut content in the Super NES port. You got slower scroll speeds, a lot of enemy placement is cut, they swap stages around. And just in general, like the game itself, I don't think is as well paced as the arcade game itself.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo version was weird. It was like the pacing was slower than the arcade version, but it was like some of the stage layouts were similar enough to the point where there was dead air in the arcade version, there was more of it in the Super Nintendo version, which it just makes it unbearable.
Yeah, it's essentially like you take a minor flaw and then you're just accentuating it, and it's hard to ignore at that point, which I think kind of holds up in a lot of, reviews for the Super Nintendo version, where people are just like, the graphics are good, but the slowdown and just lack of dead air, poorly thought out, like gameplay is not good. And yeah, it kind of makes it a little hard to like get past some of those small points. So for that reason alone, like when I was referencing this game, I decided, to play the arcade version. And honestly, like, yeah, I think arcade version is a lot better to play.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo version also never ends either, so it's like, what's the point?
Infinite. Yeah, it's infinite looping. So I guess if you really want to get 10 million, show it off kind of like when years ago Banana Mag did like 10 million Tech Command Blade. I mean,
yeah,
you can do it.
Feels like it was uncommon in that era for those console ports to endlessly loop, but there's still like a few games here and there that do. I don't know, like Zero Wing with like the stupid 100 endings.
Yeah, God, that's funny. Somebody has them all uploaded to YouTube, actually.
Yeah, those are ridiculous. Where it just gets so like meta. But anyway, so Maximo, you got kind of in the game because you found out the soundtrack was by the SMT guy, which is really cool because the music in SMT 1 and 2 so classic, so awesome. I played through SMT 1 recently, and that was such a kick-ass game. The PS1 remake. But Emuser, how did you choose to get into BlaZeon? I know these kind of games are your forte, but what brought you to BlaZeon, and what brings you here today again on the show, I guess?
Well, it's actually funny you asked that, because when I was thinking about that just now, the answer was really simple. What got me into BlaZeon was the second section of Stage 2. The music in that part was so good that I was like, what? So then I just decided to keep playing the rest of the game to the finish and see how it played out.
So for you, it was the music as well. Yeah, I really love that guy's music in SMT. So good.
Yeah, like that theme is, even though it's only in Stage 2 in the second half, it's the best theme in the whole game. It's like, dude.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So that was part of it. The other part was a long time ago when Pericles was still around. We were talking about Bioship Paladin. He brought up BlaZeon, and I'm like, wait, I was kind of playing that not that long ago. That's weird. So we kind of just pressed it on together and finished, and like I ended up with this score after like 2 weeks or so of like him first talking to me many years ago.
So you did this run a while back, eh?
I think it's 2016.
Okay, yeah, the video is from 7 years ago. Crazy.
2016. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool that you're gonna come and talk about it though, even despite the aged replay here.
Yeah, I think it's a slightly misunderstood game, partly due to the Super Nintendo version. Definitely, like somebody saw that version and they could assume that this was just as bad, but that's not the case.
Cool. And yeah, like I think Maximo had mentioned, this A.I Co. They only got like one other game you were saying.
Yeah, so after they released this game, the only other game they worked on was the prototype Wing Force, which never got official release, was dumped several years ago onto MAME, and at least in the community, like the general consensus seems to be, this is like one of the easiest tools you can get in your sleep if you use Autofire, because like they probably hadn't gone around to like bouncing bosses in that game yet, but you can just wreck bosses in like no time at all.
Wing Force, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they must have something to do with Atlus because they got the SMT composer, but the Atlus just published it, so I guess A.I Co. probably has some affiliation with them, not just.
Oh, yeah, I would guess it's probably like some subcontractor situation in that maybe like, because Atlus is also like working in the arcade. They have their own arcade division as well, so I think Masuko worked on a couple of other games that were arcade related, but I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Yeah. Right on. The BioCyborg challenge. But yeah, again, the main gimmick is you can control the other guys, so we'll get into that. But is there anything else you guys want to preface before we go into the run? Or should we just go in?
There's actually an intro bit. It plays the attract reel showing off all of the capturable units in the game, so we can go into that whenever we're ready.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, why don't we'll start the thing from the beginning then.
All right.
I'll count us down in just a moment. When you guys are ready.
Ready whenever you are.
Okay. All right, guys. This is Emuser's scoring run / no miss, all 1 credit clear of BlaZeon, the arcade version, 1992. All right, we're gonna count down. On go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alrighty, begins. So, like I mentioned earlier, starting off, it's just I wanted to include like some of the intro bits because they're really neat, honestly.
Yeah, the intro is so good. It's ridiculously well animated.
Oh shit. That is really ridiculous animation.
Yeah, I had to show that off in the beginning of my replay.
Let's just do a 60 FPS animated opening because of reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
So
That's
this
pretty
gives
rare.
us a few minutes here to get this. Actually will prove this will actually show all the mechanics right here. But you have one shot for firing and another for capturing. The B button captures. When you capture a unit, you can, you get your shot and then an ability you can use with the thing. That Mars unit back there is very important in several spots of the game, so we'll be seeing it a few times. The Neptune plays a bit of a backseat role, but it has two main uses, so it gets seen a couple of times at the very least. This is the Shadow Blade. Won't use it in this run. It's super fun though, because it has a nice shot, and its ability is that it's invincible for several seconds. You only have one stock of that, and you can't see any more of them after stage 2, so you don't see many Shadow Blades. This thing, the Grain Beat, you gotta respect this thing. It is the best unit you can pretty much get.
Yeah.
Its shot is strong and pierces. What is that? A Titan, I think it was called?
Yeah.
Yeah, Titan. You don't ever need these, but there's a couple you can get throughout the game.
They're the sonic booms. So,
Yeah. Oh, the Hyper D. There's only one of these in this game, and it's awful. You won't use it for any reason.
wow.
It's terrible.
It's cool. It's not just like it's attaching like the ship to the front of your ship, like G-Darius or whatever. It's actually like you're becoming the enemy. Like that's bad. That's pretty badass, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they each have their own weapon and ability. Like Baron actually has 2 weapons and no ability though. Baron's just a pretty standard unit you get late game if you want. And then the replay begins.
Pretty strong gimmick, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. And they spread out all the enemies throughout the game, so every new stage there's usually a new enemy or a new gimmick you have to play with. But here it starts off really simple, giving you time to figure out the controls and getting this out of the way up front immediately for those who don't know. The main scoring in BlaZeon actually involves speed killing bosses and destroying all enemies in a level. You get an extra bonus if you get a perfect bonus, which means you 100% destruct rated a level. So any single enemy leaving the screen here will butcher your score quite a bit.
Yeah, like don't you lose like 500k or something like that for missing one enemy?
Yeah, it's significant. The difference between 99 and 100% is big. Like you legitimately double the bonus if it's perfect, I think.
Yeah.
And the Mars unit is pretty simple here because it starts off with a basic 3-way shot, which is really nice and all. You see, like this first stage is basically a demo for you to like figure out your tools and put them to perfect use. Like the game is purposely designed to like give you the chance to see exactly what you can do. It's not a very difficult stage at all, mind you, but yeah, first time you play it gives you plenty of time to get used to everything. Some of the weird quirks. I'm also using Autofire, by the way, which makes the game immensely easier.
Yeah.
If you played this game without Autofire, it's legit very hard to like actually get anywhere in this game because of like the bosses.
Yeah, exactly.
Because most units you capture can take one hit and you're in a damage state where you shoot less effective, or this thing will lose one of its shots depending where it got hit from. But if you get hit again, you'll lose the armor.
Yeah, some bosses it's lethal because you just don't do enough damage, or you can't hit certain things that the mid boss or boss will shoot out.
Yeah, there are moments in this game where you absolutely need a unit captured that hasn't taken damage yet, or you're in trouble in certain spots. But yeah, the Mars is perfect for this stage. It's a good starter unit. It just does everything for you in the stage, as you can tell, once you know it. The first boss is the only bit where, like, your score will vary, because it's RNG on this boss, actually. You can't just, like, program a bot to do the perfect input every single time. The boss will spawn in different spots every single time. There's not a lot of RNG in this game, but this is one of the few spots where there is some.
Oh, I see this boss score ticking down and switching by the time bonus. Okay.
Yep. And Autofire breaks this game.
Yep.
So without Autofire, I guess it's just a lot of mashing then, type of deal. Or do you
Oh,
have
yeah.
like some weaponry?
Yeah.
Do you have some weaponry that can like be like a laser or something like that? And you don't
Most-
have to like rapid.
Most things in this game you gotta shoot real fast, but a few units you can capture have like legitimate like wave, like sonic boom type things you shoot.
Okay.
And yeah, this part's legit kind of scary because remember the perfect bonuses. All of those Shadow Blade enemies coming out and trying to just fly past you. If one of them escapes the screen, you lose your perfect bonus. So this game that suddenly seemed like it's an admittedly easy game to clear for survival, but when you stop to break down some of the parts that are like, wait a minute, if any of those leave the screen, he has to restart the run. And I specifically saved those abilities all the way from stage 1 just to blow up those rockets in stage 2.
How many of those do you get?
When you pick up a Mars unit, you get 3 ability blasts.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
So I literally saved them just for this stage. I've been riding this thing since stage 1. I'm gonna get rid of it soon, though. So once you come to grips, or we'll come to terms with like some of the like how the scoring works and how like it's so focused on destruction, the game definitely opens up a bit more because like someone playing this for the first time unaware of this stuff could easily pass it off as like a very slow-paced game. And admittedly it is, but once I learned about the perfect bonuses, because I was just playing the game normally, and it was a perfect bonus, then I'm like, what does it look like for the rest of the stages? And then after a few weeks, it finally got to this point. Not a hard game, but it still took a while to put all the pieces together perfectly. Especially because of stage 4.
Yeah. That stage is brutal.
Yeah,
You're
we'll
trying
get to that
everything.
moment later.
Yeah.
And I actually purposely rammed my unit into a wall to self-destruct it. You have a moment of invul when you lose a suit. And I did it on purpose so that I have a grain beat in my possession here.
Oh yeah, you're gonna lose it to get a new one. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. If you capture a unit, it actually still retains the destruction bonus, by the way. In case anyone was wondering. You
Nice.
technically don't get the points for destroying the unit because you captured it, but you still keep your destruction bonus, so technically if you're playing for a high score, you want to transform as little as possible. So basically your goal is to destroy everything and be as efficient with your transforms as possible,
Right.
is the long-term goal.
You just get this Eldritch Guts ship or whatever this is popping out.
Yeah,
That's
the
pretty cool.
the indeterminable blob with the cool pop-in effect. So,
Yeah, that's-
a brief moment, I actually have the little default fighter ship here. The B shot does a little more damage if you want to tack on some damage when you're stuck with this thing.
Yeah.
But also,
Okay.
DJ Aquas, turn it up a little.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is this the song or
Yeah,
like
it
a song?
is.
Yeah, turn it up a little bit.
All right. Oh, the laser. Fuck, it's loud. Just kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the laser is a little bit loud, unfortunately. Go listen to it on YouTube later. This part's actually a little tricky because this big red ship has pieces on it. But if you're not paying careful attention, like laser eye like a hawk, to every detail, make sure every single tiny little piece that can be destroyed is destroyed, this is the stage where it's easy to start missing your perfect bonuses. It's kind of ridiculous.
No, you're gonna
honestly.
break the pieces to get all the pieces.
Yeah, it could be like
Correct.
a tiny corner piece that has barely any like change in its sprite when you destroy it or something like that.
Okay.
There's a lot of pieces on this red ship for some reason.
Good to know.
Yep. This is so hard to avoid.
Oh yeah, I forgot that the loud sound obstructs the music a bit. But go listen to it on YouTube later. The second section of stage 2.
This sounded pretty jammy.
Yeah.
Though. This part sounds cool. You don't have the laser anymore. I'm gonna turn it back up.
Yeah.
There it is. It is jamming. It is jamming.
Yeah, best
It does-
theme in the game.
Yeah,
for
it does
sure.
kind of sound like that S&P guy. Very shmuppy sounding.
Yeah. So this isn't like, obviously this isn't like bullet hell or anything, but it kind of goes up there with the camp of like people who like a little strategy to their game.
Well, I have to mention like playing it without Autofire would be such a different beast here, because you'd have to like really plan ahead a bit more, and then like get in there with the crazy mashing, the two-handed mashing.
Admittedly, this game would probably look a lot different without Autofire. The grain beat would become even more better than it already is. Because that thing shoots 2 very strong bursts, so you don't have to mash hard to do. But yeah, I've never gone back to see how this is without Autofire, honestly.
I did a little bit without Autofire, just couldn't get that far though.
I honestly think that it's kind of like, maybe not as fun. Because like this thing literally will only shoot 1 spread per tap, and it's like this boss is forever without Autofire. Yeah, especially if you like lose your upgrade, like
I can see what you mean.
Yeah,
the blue shots it shoots out will home into you as well. The trajectory is kind of weird.
People would probably many people would probably legit game over it here without Autofire on that boss, because it's just a gruesome fight without Autofire.
Yeah, with like the multiple shots overlapping, because he killed like the first 2 side pieces, kind of like it's kind of like that R-type boss with the multiple parts. Yeah, if you don't kill all 3 of those parts together, they just overlap their attacks, and you just have no room to dodge. Especially if it capture enemy, because your hitbox is pretty big.
Yeah, there's no grazing or anything really. It's pretty exact when it comes to bullets scraping your hitbox. This stage is one of the stages that I think that they honestly knew the bosses before were a little ridiculous if you're playing like on the real hardware. So strangely enough, stage 3 is very much like a very slow starting stage. So we have time for anything if we need a moment to like look at anything else really.
What's with these green like turds coming out of the wall that do nothing?
They'll stop once you shoot them a bit, and I wish I had more answers for you, but they don't go anywhere beyond like the first part of the stage. Yeah, they stop existing after the first port.
Yeah, you know, the game with the mechs and stuff kind of reminds me of Sidearms Hyperdyne a little bit, especially with like the mech transformation. It's kind of like similar to that game, I guess. So you go from like the guy to like the mech.
I haven't actually played that yet, and I know as goofy as that just looked, that was actually on purpose to rid my other Mars suit right there.
Yep, to get another green beat.
Green
you would
beat
love
gang.
Sidearms, by the way.
Oh, yeah, but that's one I still need to get to sometime soon. I'll be getting to it eventually.
So what's this one's name again?
The Grain Beat.
Grain Beat? Yeah.
This is actually a good time to kind of point out something interesting about this suit if you haven't noticed it yet. You fancy yourself a fan of Gundam, Atlus?
Not a ton, but I do like mech stuff.
Yeah, so for anyone out there who is in the know-how with Gundam, this thing has a strange resemblance to some of the funnels the new Gundam has.
Yeah, isn't there like the Baron like the Burga Dallas or like the Gallus?
Yeah, it looks like
F91.
Yeah, it looks like one of those units from F91 as well.
You're talking about like from the modern Gundam?
Well, F91's from like 1981, so not that modern. But it was like, I guess, contemporary for around the time this came out.
Yeah, when it came to arcades around that era, they were hella crazy about just the Wild West of when it came to copyright infringement. There's a reason this game has never been ported. If they wanted to port this game, they'd have to change a bunch of sprites in the game, probably, because they're too resemblant of Gundam. Like,
yeah,
it's called rename a Gundam game, then you get more sales, right?
Well, you probably go for Sunrise / Bandai Namco.
In some universe, they totally would have tried that if they thought of it.
Yeah, I think generally Sunrise is more protected their IPs now than they were back then.
Oh yeah, so that's everyone, honestly.
Yeah, Oh, now you got this mid boss here, which
I do like
to launch
yeah.
it. Spikes just like cover so much of the screen that you have to be pretty precise on your damage output, or else very easy to get walled.
Yeah, like it's a little claustrophobic for a bit here.
Yeah, like if you lose your green beat there, you basically have to time out that mid boss because you just don't do enough damage.
Yeah, if you're playing for score though, you need the green beat to kill it ASAP to get a few extra enemies that spawn. Like,
oh yeah,
if you kill it, only if you kill it fast enough.
Well, if you get the extra enemies, does that help you meet the perfect, or does that not contribute, or what?
I think it only counts things that actually spawn onto the screen. But now that you've asked me that, I'm sure they wouldn't be that mean if you couldn't speed kill the mid boss because you got powered down once. I think it only counts things that fly onto the screen.
Okay.
I can't confirm or deny, but using common logic and common sense, that's how I believe it would work without breaking their brains. Just sounds like the most reasonable approach to it. But yeah, this stage goes on for a bit more. That's why I mentioned, like, we have time to talk about a few other things, like Gundam, per se. And yeah, this part's a little strange because I think that what do you call it? Like, for example, even if you did a good job protecting whatever thing you wanted to protect, they just have this thing here that'll destroy anything except like a shadow blade or the default ship.
Oh, they just make you pair down there with the wall closing. Yeah.
Unless you're suicidal enough to get a shadow blade all the way from stage 2 over here, like you can get through it with that thing, I think. But it's like no one does that.
No, especially like for this part here, like you need that coverage.
Somebody told me an idea that it would be really funny to see a clear of this game with only a shadow blade at the end of stage 5. That'd be stupid because you can't get one after the first part of stage 2.
Yeah.
And it's like super hyper. It'd be like flying a judge spear in the middle of this game. Without hitting walls.
Yeah, then I just wonder, like, how does it get past some of the bosses later, like the boss for this stage too? Because it's another one where you need the pure scene to do enough damage, or else it just speeds up and it gets very hard to dodge the things that are coming from the bottom.
Are you familiar with the term timer scam in fighting games?
A little bit, yeah.
I think you gotta time out that boss maybe with that thing. That would be awful, though. I think the Shadow Blade could do it, though. I think it's just not as fast as the Green Beat.
Well, yeah.
Also, dead air. Stage 3 is a bunch of dead air, and I don't know why.
Well, maybe it's because they want you to rest up from all the mashing. Because, I mean...
Probably.
I just can't help but think how different it would be if you had to mash on some of those bosses. Like that spike boss back there, like you'd be fighting that thing for like another like 25 seconds. Like, where are those? What's going to happen with those patterns?
If you're playing this without Autofire and you didn't have the Grain Beat at this point, I think that it's GG, honestly.
Yeah.
Either that or you just have to time it out. Yeah, this is actually one of the most lucrative scoring spots in the game. If you milk this as long as possible and destroy the boss right before its timer ends, it's like responsible for a fourth of your score. So you need both bits on your Grain Beat, and you just milk these balls for a while. And you have to, when you take damage, you'll lose one of your funnels, therefore your power gets cut in half. So if you ever take damage, you just have to kill the boss and move on to the next stage. In case you power down and then you get stuck, because like you really don't want to die, like lose this thing on this fight.
Yep.
The balls will never stop coming out, and it'll be very hard to damage the boss, the VI, once they're like, too many of them are out.
Oh shit, the pattern's getting crazier.
And the whole time,
these things get super fast, which is why, like,
This is one of those bits you definitely spend a lot practicing in this game for. It's hard to tell where the hitbox is exactly, too, but it's like your legs are like... It's more your body. Your legs are just kind of hanging out awkwardly on the side.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it gets kind of nuts later. See, I got hit there, so I'm getting out. Get out of dodge once you get hit. But yeah, the ideal strat would be to milk it as long as possible, then kill it when it's about to time out. Or else I think you miss out on the perfect bonus if you forget to kill the boss as well. And then there's this stage.
Yep.
It's not bad, but it's a little tricky given the how the game has played out so far.
Question in the chat from Muttmutt, are there checkpoints if you die?
No, there are no checkpoints in this game. Unless you continue, then there are... I think you start the stage over. If you continue. Yeah. Because I remember credit feeding this back in like 2006 or something, and I'm like, credit continuing on stage 2. Because I couldn't kill that. Yeah. No, I'm remembering that now. And I had an annotation of my own video for that dodge I just did. I'm never making this. I'll never be that lucky ever again.
Yeah, that was so clutch.
I was a little hype after that.
So how important is it you keep the grain beat right now?
Pretty important. It's not impossible without it, but it would make my life extremely hard if I lost it, like, before these laser walls, basically. See there, I purposely lose it so I can just get another grain beat.
Okay, nice.
By the end of this video, I think we're going to need a shirt that just says, when in doubt, grain beat.
I feel like if you're in this mech, though, you have to, like, drink grain belt beer, too.
I didn't explain with this thing yet, actually. I'm sure you've noticed by now, though. This thing has 2 funnels. The B button actually changes the formation of the funnels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's cool.
They can block basic bullets as well.
Oh, nice.
Yep. You can use it here, too, to block.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to see on, like, right here.
The block. The horseshoes.
Yeah. This is another mid-boss where there's some dead air, because I actually milked this thing.
Yeah.
This is sweet. I really like the enemies and like the boss designs and stuff. Like, sweet stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting game, but it's not without its problems. The pacing is definitely like kind of wacky.
Yeah.
But it's a thinking man's game. It's a strategy game when you're trying to figure out how do I maximize my score. Like these green funnels back there. They're worth 5,000 points each, so it is worth your time waiting to destroy all of them that you can, even if it takes some time. You know, if you're playing like for as high a score as you can get, you have to do this stuff after all, you know?
That's true, yeah.
That's just how it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It is a little tedious, though. But another fun factor, another curiosity for any other Gundam fans out there, the back of that mid-boss has a pair of funnels that suspiciously looks like the back of a Sazabi, once again from Gundam Char's Counterattack. I'm just saying.
Sweet. Yeah, so Gundam fans gotta play this game, right? It's part of the Essential Collection.
Yeah, along with Side Battler.
Honestly, like, it could have been a legit Gundam game if they, like, tailored it a little more in that. Also, the speed section. In case you were doubting that this game had any ounce of difficulty in it, I'm not going to say anything during this part. Just know that this part took me a few days to get down perfectly. I'll be back when the boss comes around, though.
Gotta have your token high-speed memorizer.
Yep. Oh, what about missing enemy here?
It gets extremely dicey here.
Oh shit.
The sprite was halfway off screen.
I can see how that would be very particular to do to get all those enemies for the perfect bonus.
That's very precise as well, by the way. You do not have a lot of leeway on that full sequence right there.
Someone did their homework.
You have to on this part. This part forces you to do your homework. You don't have a choice in the matter. This is like why the all perfect bonuses is like a kind of interesting goal to go for in this game.
Yeah. Very nicely done.
Yeah. Like when you put it all together, it feels really satisfying to just go from one suit to the next one and then, you know,
Yeah.
purposely perching. It's fun.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of wish there were more sections like that in this game.
Yeah, this game had a pacing issue, and that was like, honestly, that speed section's like why I decided to like try to go for a full replay, because it's like, yeah, that's like the main attraction for like the cool part of the game, in my opinion. Well, that and the stage 2 music. Because this boss certainly ain't one of them.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at this again for the first time in a very long time, and I'm like, wow. That's actually insane. I forgot how badly some of these bosses can get annihilated. And then there's an actual final stage, which isn't half bad, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's slow, but it makes sense for the kind of, you know, atmosphere it's going for here.
Yeah, but this is like... Jamers was saying earlier that this is like kind of Irem-like. If they up the intensity of some stuff a little bit, he wouldn't be far off, honestly.
That's
It'd probably be kind of more fun, even.
Yeah. Just need to find
Because it is
something
neat. But I can totally understand if there's people who like don't get into this game more.
I think it's supposed to be like a city in the background. Like, I think
not sure.
It looks like roads and stuff to me.
You might not be wrong, actually. I never really gave it that much thought.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure because never thought about it much myself. There's not really much story info too on the game. It's just like the United States Space Force knows the Imperial Earth Army's launched past the solar system. When the Imperial Earth Army returned, it came armed with largely robots known as BioCyborgs that are used to dominate and oppress societies of Earth. And then you're the role of a rebel forces pilot who launches a surprise attack against the Imperial Earth Army.
So here's some good damage for no Autofire, that bomb. Look at that.
Yeah. The boss is still pretty beefy, though.
Yeah, I think I just used the default
ship.
ship with this because it actually dealt more damage.
It's like they have the core there, but you're just hitting the side.
Yeah, I think honestly though, like the strat might be better if you're going for score and perfect bonus, because those hatches there, like, can't really get that with the default ship.
Yeah, I was actually milking its missiles it was shooting out with the Baron. That's why I could have killed it much sooner, but I was milking its missiles.
Oh, I see.
They're worth a tiny bit more than speed killing it, because if you speed kill it, then there's a gap where no enemies come out up until like right here.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or at least, or at least the missiles outweigh enemies that come like if you kill it as soon as you can. I think it's one of the two. I can't remember which right now though.
Okay.
Yeah, the missiles are worth just a little bit more. So you keep that thing alive longer, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, let's see. They, like, this stage has some neat stuff going on, but it's also, like, for a last stage, it's a little tame. Like, this part's a little scary, though. Like, we needed a little more spicy stuff like this in the game.
Yeah, I remember that killed one of my runs, and then the next run I got it.
The timing on all those doors is uneven, so you kind of have to hard memo that.
Yep.
Classic.
And of course, if you still had any unit, then you can't fit anything up to the into the door up to that point. They love to clean. They love to do a unit check every once in a while. Stage 3 and 5, I'm pretty sure, but ear warning incoming.
Yep.
Are you not going to get the Sonic Boom guy?
No, actually.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he doesn't have any use, unfortunately.
This is a chonky fit here.
I think there's literally only 2 Titans in the whole game. One in stage 2 and then one later in the stage here. But he doesn't serve any major purpose. Unfortunately, as cool as he looks.
Yeah. Not much of a point. You can just get grain beef for the last boss.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Another section here is just you can bait these out to kill them,
It's surprisingly tight to get that last one right there. You can die just destroyed.
Right, yeah.
If you look carefully, I'm like barely like positioning myself like inches away from the wall to get.
Does it chase? Does that chase you, or can you like wait for it and then go behind it? I wonder.
If you do that, then they would trap you, and you would not be able to progress. You would hit a wall and die.
Trapped at the top. Yeah, that seems like a pretty bullshit part for no auto.
Yeah, those platforms, you just have to run from them. You can't destroy any of them after the first one, anyways. You don't have like a shot angle on them.
I wonder how you destroy those in time without Autofire, though.
You probably don't, honestly.
Maybe do the triple tap technique.
Good luck.
Yeah. Probably not possible without Autofire, to be honest.
Yeah.
Also, final dead stretch of dead air before the final boss.
Just want to immerse you in the upcoming tension of this climactic final battle.
I shit you not, on the Super Nintendo that this stretch of dead air is more than a minute.
Oh no.
Damn.
This is long, but just know it's worse on the SNES.
That alarm is kind of creepy sounding.
Yeah.
You would expect it more from a game like a horror type game or something.
Yeah, like.
Well, this is like some horror shit.
Hey, it's art type, kind of.
Yeah. Wow.
The eye.
Oh, whoops! Boss is already dead.
And GG. Yeah, final boss GG no re.
Yep.
Just blew off his head.
Yeah. R-Type, totally not R-Type reference at the end there.
Yeah.
And
so
you get a point bonus for all your extra lives at the end there.
yeah, 500k for each remaining life, plus the collect bonus, and 1 million for destroying the boss.
Yeah. So half your score literally comes at the very end of the game, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then there's a pretty neat little credit reel at the end. It's not mimicking what you did in your replay previously, though.
I was gonna say, like, what is
pre-recorded
this?
thing. Yeah.
Is it just like them showing it on?
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
Ethiopian taro.
Yep.
Admittedly, it is kind of a strange credit sequence now that I think about it. To
This
just
is
show the
cool.
game that you just... It is cool, though. The music is cool. I like it. It is a little weird that it just shows you, like, what the game you just beat, though. Like this, in this way, it's a little odd.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been kind of cool if they had your own gameplay for this part.
Yeah, that would have been super nice.
But
Yeah.
still, I do like
But,
games that when they show like some of the assets in the credits are repeated. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Pretty cool. I think.
Yeah. I guess it's so... That would have been too much effort to ask from a company named Atlus, after all. 'Cause they're the ones who did they develop this game?
Well, so
published
AI,
it.
I don't think it's mentioned anywhere if A.I Co is actually like a subdivision within Atlus, or they're just a subcontractor. But I know like Tsukasa Masoko did work for Atlus. It's a composer.
Did we even see like the AI name on the title screen, or was I think it was
So-
just Atlus?
I don't think you see it on this version. AI's logo is on the port.
Oh.
Dude, these names, man. Big Shot and
Yeah.
Happy Taro and Bilingual Ichimura and then Ethiopian Taro and
Yeah.
names.
Yeah.
I guess the bilingual person could like talk to the Ethiopian
Oh.
person.
Okay, so I actually found what it is. So AI Company Limited, formally established in July
Oh, there
1998.
it
It's a
is.
small development studio based in Uchida, Tokyo, Japan, which employs about 30 people. The company has produced more than 30 titles under contract, including numerous entries in the Bomberman, Bonk, and Super Robot Tyson series. Their most significant clients are Hudson Band Presto. The company's name AI comes from its founders Hiroyuki Arai and Noriyoshi Enai, who had previously worked together in Sanritsu Denki, which was a division of Sanritsu Electronics Company Limited,
Wow.
and was a subcontractor itself for Sega back in the day.
Oh, there's where that Yamaha technology comes in, doesn't it?
I
Maybe.
guess, yeah.
Perhaps. I see.
Seems odd they ported it to the SNES, but not like the Genesis. Like, what happened? I don't know.
I'm not sure because they also ported like some other games like Power Instinct to the Genesis, so maybe that's just within the contract. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the fact this got ported at all, honestly, is like crazy to me.
Yeah, I think they also did a port of like original Raiden for one of the platforms. I can't remember which one though.
It's probably the you might I wonder if it was the Genesis one, because
I think it might be.
You know that one actually has its own TLB that doesn't exist in the other Raidens
Yeah, exactly.
for some reason.
Wow.
Yeah, weird, very weird. One loop game TLB at the end of last stage, after the last stage for some reason.
Yeah, it's a new last stage too for that.
Yeah.
I can't believe this game is made by AI.
Yeah, Jamers.
So true.
Wow, Jamers can't believe it.
AI, it's just getting. I mean, it already was so good.
Man. AI
is
got one hell of a
revolutionized
glow up since 30 years ago.
ago.
Yeah, AI got one hell of a glow up since 30 years ago. Good lord.
Well, it's like shmups are so simple that the AI technology, was able to make a game like this.
Yeah. What is it, by the way? Because BlaZeon does the same thing. Like, for example, I'm getting into Ryga recently. Why does every stage 3 Hori randomly have to look like a horror stage? Like it's X Multiply or something?
Dude, Ryga, hell yeah.
That Irem inspiration rubbing off, maybe?
In Ryga, it feels even more random. But in this game, it's also kind of random.
Ryga, not Rygar. I was like, I almost got hyped playing Rygar there.
Sorry, wrong game.
No.
It's funny because actually in game they like say Ryga when they talk about Rygar.
Yeah,
oh, man,
interesting.
Anyway, that threw me off. But yeah, you're talking about that Strato Force, was it? Or
yeah,
it was a Tecmo game.
Very surprising.
Oh wait, that's Tecmo as well.
Yeah, Ryga is definitely Tecmo.
Man, Rygar, also Tecmo. Man, that's confusing.
Oh, that really sucks. That's it. Now that has been an issue at some point in the community. At some point, I guarantee it.
Well, I mean, the Japanese version of Rygar is called Argos no Senshi, but like I said, but in the Japanese version, they'd refer to Rygar anyway in the ending, and then it's like even more confusing because the final guy is called Liger, not Rygar.
No, you can't do.
And like with the LNR like thing with the with Japan, like why?
Oh Jesus!
You have to think that they are just trolling at that point.
It just doesn't make a lot of sense, but I do find that amusing.
Wow, that just sounds like a series of unfortunate events waiting to happen.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, wait. So why did you bring up Strato Force again?
This stage 3 background in the current footage, it's got like this weird like horror-esque background with like biological things.
Yeah.
It's like
biomechanical
X Multiply or something. But Ryga does the same thing in stage 3. I'm like, why is this happening? And both games abandoned it like right after stage 3. I'm like, is this just a horror, like a horror shmup trope or something? I don't get it.
Even Metal Black kind of has a little bit of like the boss with like the grotesque beetle walking up and down the hill.
Yeah, that thing was always funny.
It is, yeah. Especially if you milk it for score and you're just like,
I always die to that fucking thing, man. Yeah. It's so deceptive how when the dung ball's bouncing around, it feels like there's some RNG there too.
Yeah.
It always gets me. That game is evil, man.
It is, yeah.
I don't know how people get consistent clearing it. It's just so fucking random to me.
I didn't realize it was like that evil. I hadn't played it a lot, but I've twice got to the last stage and just kind of shrugged my shoulders. Oh well, maybe later.
Yeah.
Last stage throws a lot of shit at you.
It does, yeah. And the stupid red spiky balls can just spawn on top of you, and that's like so fun when that happens.
This game did have some like good like biological designs, like pretty unique. Some of the stuff hadn't really seen before, kinda. Well, the R-type, the final boss was like very R-typey, but like this one, what we're looking at right now, like an eye with like the
Yeah.
I don't know, like the flaps. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, this boss is really cool. Honestly, the premise is simple when you're milking it, but like it was creative. Like you can't look at this and say like, oh, they did this in another game before.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of stands out. It's kind of nice.
It does. I kind of wonder how much development time this game even had, because part of me feels like the last stage or whatever, it felt like they ran out of time a little bit to maybe add some more interesting elements, but
yeah,
it's hard to tell sometimes.
When I stopped to think about it, actually, the stage 3 boss is the only one in this game that actually like you actually think against it. The others get steamrolled so fast that you don't have to do anything.
It's like hit Autofire and win.
Yeah. I don't know. I know that this game's a lot harder without Autofire, but I don't know if like the game doesn't become more fun just because I turn off Autofire. Like that never happens.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah. I think there's a co-op feature too in the arcade version where the port doesn't. I don't know how much changes up in the playing co-op.
Oh yeah, so it says intercoin, so it does support co-op. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that is true. You get a blue everything on 2P side instead.
Yep.
Maybe you need 2 players to get through that closing door section near the end without Autofire.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Maybe that's the key, because like that did look ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah,
it feels like it was designed for not playing Autofire, but it does look pretty. I don't know. It looks a little. I mean, it's just kind of got that old school. Feel, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Like at first glance, it feels like the kind of game where maybe you don't need too much Autofire, but like when you actually play, it's just like. Especially like you make a minor mistake and you like take it on your upgraded form, it's like your firepower goes down so much that's like, what am I supposed to do to make up for this besides using auto at times?
I like this boss too, like the mech guy that pops out, his torso pops out of the thing. Kind of reminded me of like Gunbird or Striker's transformations.
Ah,
true.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Autofire thing again, and it kind of I came to the conclusion, even if you didn't have Autofire, like the game's still not that hard. Like take this versus like Rezon, for example. If you just suddenly took away Autofire and Rezon and you didn't bother to like those are hard. Like that game's way harder than this game.
Yeah, or like that one Olympics where they play Truxton 2 without Autofire.
Oh no,
insane.
No, why would you do that to yourself?
I think they also
you gotta go laser, man. Just go laser.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they also had another turning where they did right into about Autofire, which is again baffling, but
laser again.
Yeah. I think now they don't have that issue because they have people kind of vetting what games are good with Autofire and whatnot, but I remember like some people really had a bone to pick with that the previous tourneys, and yeah.
When it comes to Truxton 2 though, Autofire on is the default, so why would you change that?
I don't know.
It's like that's one thing I don't understand. It's like if you want to play by like, you know, playing Galaxy rules where you gotta play on all defaults. Why are we going out of our way to remove the Autofire in Truxton 2 of all games?
Well, I think that might have maybe been TG influence, because I remember the original track for Truxton 2 / Tuxedo on TG is also Autofire off for some reason.
I wouldn't even. I'm just like, nah, you guys can't be serious. No one's playing this shit. Seriously, turn it back on.
Yeah.
I am not playing that game without Autofire. You can't pay me.
Yeah, no way.
Well, what I like to do a lot of time is just set the Autofire to something that I would reasonably do, like throughout the whole game. To like kind of go halfway, but then you can still mash it if you want to get a higher rate. But it's really a case by case basis and what you want to get out of the game, and it really just depends. And then sometimes you can't even. Sometimes you don't even have access to Autofire. So what else you have nothing. You have no choice.
Yeah. Hopefully the
True.
game isn't complete how in a situation like you're playing a game that can't be emulated, is not ported, and you don't have Autofire. Like, that's an unfortunate situation to be in. Like Arcade Raiden 2 or something, PCB.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Gotta get some like icy hot patch on your wrist after that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people who've done that before, and it was like, yeah, I couldn't do more than like a run or two because like your hand gets wiped out by either like mashing Vulcan or just the constant stick movements that you have to do with changing direction. Because like at least if you're playing with like the plasma laser, it's like, yeah, you can hit enemies, but sometimes you have to do like kind of just raw dodging at times because the random Zako spawns at certain stages.
I mean,
Oh.
yeah.
There's something else that I just realized. You remember how a few of the units in this game bear a strange resemblance to some Gundam units?
Yeah.
You ever notice that BlaZeon has a capital Z in the middle of the title, as though it's
Yeah.
saying BlaZeon? Like
Yeah.
Hail Xeon? Gundam?
Xeon.
Conspiracy theory confirmed? I don't know, chat, tell me.
When you
That's
have so
weird.
many references in one place, I mean, they at a certain point they just acknowledge it. I feel like, and that
Yeah.
might be one of those things.
That's an amazing coincidence that I just noticed, actually.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, most of the time, I think a lot of these guys, like, the references are mostly like, it's in good spirit. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's just like they just love these other games and whatnot. So,
Yeah, it was a different time back then. Like, a bunch of arcade games did stuff like that.
Yeah. I think there's like some Jocko game too that really just put like a Zaku in like whole scale.
Yeah, there's like a random side-scrolling game. I can't remember what it is. It's side-scrolling like beat 'em up with like Zaku's and aliens just running, like the aliens from Alien just running around.
Yep.
oh yeah, Alien was in so many games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know which one
Ridiculous.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like the same one as the Rambo or whatever.
Yeah, he was in that one too.
And Godzilla.
Yep. Yeah, I don't remember the name of that game, but we were thinking of the same one.
All right, well, yeah, this was cool to check out. I think we've ranted enough here, but fun to check out BlaZeon. Yeah, definitely kind of a untalked about game. So it was great to kind of talk about that. And thanks, Emuser, for making your big comeback on the show. I think
Oh,
you were
yeah.
saying last time it was Aero Chimera
Yeah.
came on, which was the that's the
the end
is that
of-
the unreleased arcade game? I'm trying to remember now.
No, Aero Chimera was the super difficult shooting game.
Oh, I'm thinking of Chimera Beast. My bad.
Ah, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Aero
Air
Chimera
Chimera
was-
so gen.
That was like
Yeah.
was that home indie?
Yeah,
one?
Yeah.
Sasapoika made that one.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, it was the insanely difficult one. Yeah,
Yeah,
good times.
it's
The
been
years just
that
fly
long.
by.
Yeah. I can't believe it's been that long, honestly.
But yeah, here we are, still playing shmups and still doing the show, despite it not being quite weekly. But we're past the 200 episode mark, so it's pretty sweet. And yeah, once again, if you guys want to come on the show, just use the form in our YouTube description, and we'll try to get you scheduled in if you got a cool game to show us or talk about, etc., etc. So yeah, thanks again, Emuser, for coming on, and I think we'll
Yeah.
close out
Thank you.
here. For STG
Sounds
Weekly 204 on BlaZeon. Thanks everybody for coming out, and yeah, we'll see you on YouTube with this episode a couple days. So, all right, till next time, peeps.
Peace out, yo.
See you next game. Bye bye.